Um, I know what happened. I know what the child said. She was 14 years old. You were a trusted figure in her home. Um, I really don't have any questions. It's really this as for what happened to her. She she did her best to stop you. She did everything she could, being a 14-year-old child, but you overpowered.
Well, this is a stepfather serving just 7 years for doing the worst to his 14-year-old stepdaughter. Good thing Miss Stapleton, the victim's advocate, the one who replaced Mr. O'Shea, is here. We also see a new board member, Daniel or Danny Barris, who's sitting in the middle. We'll go over his bio at the end. With that, let's jump.
Today we have for parole consideration Troy Herron, DOC number 55012, who is a first felony offender, who was convicted of indecent behavior with a juvenile, 2 counts, and second-degree rape, 2 counts. The victim is his 14-year-old stepdaughter. And on July 28th, 2020, he was sentenced to serve 7 years hard labor each count to run concurrent in Orleans Parish. Your parole eligibility date is 11/21/24. You're not eligible for any good time. Your full term date, August 21st of 26. Mr. Tillis has been assigned your case, and we'll have the first vote. Okay, Mr. Tillis, thank you.
Good morning. How are you, Mr. Troy?
Good morning, sir. I'm okay. How are you?
Good, good. How long have you been there?
I've been in Dixon Correction like a year and 4 months.
A year and 4 months? What have you been doing since you've been there?
Well, I've been attending the VOTEC. I accomplished getting my high set and I finished the IC3 program.
You finished those 3?
Yeah, I had the high set program, the IC3 program, free release, living in balance, Cajun Rage.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So what do you like doing while you're there?
I mostly be focused on my schoolwork.
Right? What do you plan to do if you when you get out?
I'm trying to open my business. I love working with technology, so I'm trying to open my own business.
You want to open your own business?
Yes,
I see.
because I'm good at repairing computers and most electronics.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Carolyn, you want to ask some questions?
I do. I want to ask you a question. I saw that I saw in one case that you were her stepfather, and then I saw another case that you were, the woman was your girlfriend. So you are the stepfather. Y'all were married?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So you were a stepdaughter. I read your victim statement as to what happened, which you pled guilty to. I mean, it started off as first-degree rape and sexual battery, and it was actually pled down. The second-degree rape and indecent with a juvenile. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I know what happened. I know what the child said. She was 14 years old. You were a trusted figure in her home. I really don't have any questions. It's really this as for what happened to her. She did her best to stop you. She did everything she could, being a 14-year-old child, but you overpowered. And you have blanket opposition from law enforcement. And I just want to say that anytime a person takes advantage of a child like that, you take a piece of them that you can never get back. I see that you wrote a victim accountability letter. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. There may become the time that she may decide to read that. And I see that you take every class that's offered you, and one day you will get out. And this should never repeat itself.
It never will, ma'am.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. I
Ma'am,
know the victim would be glad to hear that too. So, that concludes what I had to say.
All right. I see you had classes. Have you ever had any sex offender specific classes?
no, sir.
Is the reason for that you're at a facility where they don't have them? Or you just chose not to take them?
I'm not sure. Like, I do whatever I get put into.
We have it, sir.
Y'all have it? So, number one, that's a target class for you. That class needs to be taken, all sex offender classes involved that you're available, you need to take. Those you took are good, but you need to do that, all of them. If we release you, where you plan on living?
I'm going back to Jamaica.
And who you there?
My mom.
Okay.
I have a immigration detainer after this, so I'm not really sure how the whole procedure go.
Were you ever molested when you were a child?
No, sir.
Well, what made you think that your behavior with a 14-year-old was okay?
It's not okay. Ain't no justifying it or making it sound good, sir.
So you didn't know it then, but you know it now, is what you're telling me, or you
Yeah.
then but just did what you wanted to do?
Ain't no excuses or anything, sir. Nothing.
All right, well then, why don't you just give me a couple of reasons why you think parole should be granted for you today? In your own words, why you think we ought to give you parole today?
Well, for me, sir, I take full responsibility for my crimes. Ain't no justifying it. Ain't no making it sound good. Ain't no correct explanation for it. If I'm granted parole, I won't be of any problem to the United States anyway. I will get deported as soon as I granted my parole. I finish my time here. I won't be around any of my family. I know I caused a lot of pain from one side of my family to their side of the family. I'm really just trying to my best and go back to my country and accomplish as much as I can, being a successful person of my country.
Okay, I think I'm done with the questioning too. We have some family members here for you in support. We'll start with your father, Maurice Herron. Can we get him up? Good morning, Mr. Herron. Thank you for attending. Got something you want to tell the parole board before we make our decision?
Your microphone's muted, sir. You need to mute your microphone.
We can't hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
Morning.
Okay, we have you now.
Yes. Well, I'm supporting my son to. I wish you all to just helping him get back on his feet, get back to Jamaica, that he can get back to society and do what he do best, them schooling, do whatever him on. It's just hard for us to know that him over there, him do have a family over there and been doing him things from him been working, he's a chef, he been working in that hotel and doing him stuff, and to wake up and find him in this position, I know we can get over it all now.
All right. Well, thank you for your input. We appreciate you attending.
Bless us.
The next person we have is Jer Johnson Herron.
Morning.
Morning. Did I say your name right?
Yes, sir.
Well, good. Thank you for coming and attending, and go ahead and tell us what you got to say.
So I know that Troy is an honest, jovial, positive, well-mannered person. He's a good human being who has grown tremendously. And I know that he has learned from his mistake. I also know that he is very sorry for what he has done And I know that he is ready to be integrated into society where he can help youths at risk in Jamaica and be a better version of himself. He deserves this parole, and I thank you very much for even considering him.
You're welcome. Thank you. Is the lady sitting on the side of you, Miss Ellie?
Yes.
Okay, you can go ahead and have your turn now.
Good morning. My name is Ellie Monteith. I'm a healthcare aide. I flew in from Canada to support my sister. Our family has been strongly impacted by Troy's action, and we have been struggling with emotional issues, complying with the fact that we lost our son in Canada by drowning in 2020. He was making solar system for him and Troy to come back to do business in Jamaica. So if he's granted parole, we are 100% prepared to give him financial support. I am going to do that. Moral support and encouragement until he no longer needs it. But we will ensure he stays on the right path. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That concludes the people we have in support today. We also have in opposition the victim herself, Miss Deborah. Miss Deborah, are you by telephone? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, it's your turn. Can you tell us whatever you'd like to tell us regarding this case and your feelings about should he be released or granted parole?
Um, I really, I really don't have no words to say, but I can say that it's in the past, but also it's it's just hard. But I know someday he's gonna have to get out. And honestly, I do forgive him, but I don't know. That's all. I don't know.
Is that everything you want to say? All right, Mr. McLean, thank you for your input. We appreciate you taking part in the hearing today. And I do want to note that we have law enforcement opposition from the chief of police of Orleans, and the judges, DA, and sheriffs had a blanket policy on no comments. So that being said, it's now time for you, Mr. Herron, to give your closing statements of the hearing. So this is your final shot at the parole board to tell us why you think it's a good idea for you to be released. Go ahead.
People of the board, I take responsibility for all the hurt that I caused to everyone, from my family to theirs. I will do my best to accomplish as much and help as much people as I can if I am granted parole. There's no excuse for this, nothing. Ain't no justifications. Ain't nothing can make it sound right or even look right. All I can do is try to do my best and make this happen for me and for everybody else. Everybody been through a lot because of me. I can't do anything but just try to make it up, accomplish me, accomplish for the world. Cause that's the kind of person I am. I don't I, uh, okay, if I'm granted parole, when it's granted, I promise I'm gonna go back to my country and y'all gonna see me in the newspaper. I will be an ambassador. I will promote peace, love. I'm gonna make it happen. I have a number of skills. This was a tremendous mishap. Tremendous. but ain't no way of making it happen. My life is in y'all hand. Whatever y'all decide, I can't dictate how y'all gonna do it or anything. I can just ask that, help me. I won't be around anybody like that. I won't be in the state, so I won't be have any problem to do. Uh,
All right, is that all you got? All right, thank you very much.
ain't no way how to put it. Ain't no explanation or anything.
I understand what you're saying.
Oh,
All right. Mr. Bickham, do y'all have anything you'd like to say down there? How's he been? Anything about him that you're aware of?
Not really. I don't have anything to add that y'all haven't covered already.
Right. Thank you very much.
I'd like to make a move that we go into executive session at this time.
I second.
I vote to go in executive session also. The board will be in executive session. Oh, how about-
Roll call.
Harold Stapleton,
Yes.
Shoes,
Yes.
Danny Burrows.
Yes. The board will be in executive session to discuss confidential matters. We'll be right back to you. Thank you. All right. We've concluded executive session and the board is now ready to vote. We're going to go ahead and begin with Mr. Tillis. Since it's his case, he'll be the first vote.
Mine's is to deny.
Okay,
Okay,
Ms. Carolyn?
mine is gonna be to now under the grounds that you've only put in basically 2 years out of a 7-year sentence, and they had ran concurrently anyway, so for 2 charges. And then, also, you need the sex offense class. They were available to you. You hadn't you took all these other classes, but not a sex offense class, and it's there. And the last one is, what you did was not a mishap. It was a violent crime against a little 14-year-old. So now pass it, Mr. Bauer.
Mr. Aaron, I'm impressed that your prison behavior, that you've had only one write-up in the whole time you've been there, from what I can tell. Good work on that. However, I'm very concerned that the victim in this case was only 14 years old when you raped him multiple times. That's very, very concerning to me. And the time you spent in jail seems like a short amount of time to begin with. So today I vote to deny your parole also and recommend that you take more sex offender classes and victim related courses and then apply again after you've taken some of those courses. So we finished voting, Mr. Huron. Today, the parole board has denied your request for parole, recommending that you take more classes. And this concludes our business today. We will, Mr. Bickham, you look like you wanted to say something.
Oh, no,
No.
sir. No,
No.
sir. I'm filling out my papers.
All right. This concludes our business today. So we'll adjourn the meeting at 9:38 p.m. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Y'all have a great day.
Man, I love Miss Stapleton. I was gonna say you wouldn't believe it, but I think you would. I wrote down in my notepads exactly what Miss Stapleton said, and I didn't write much on this case, but I wrote a tremendous mishap. I don't know if I have to. It's not coming through it. I wrote it down. Trust me. And when Miss Stapleton said that this wasn't a tremendous mishap, this wasn't a mishap. It was a violent crime against a little 14-year-old. You know, it is when you take a step back and it's like, we're here because of the violent crime he committed against this little 14-year-old, his stepdaughter. And then, you know, it's so classic. We see it all the time where those in support of the victim come on and they go jabbering and yabbering and they're all cuddled up there in the corner together, like, oh no, please let him out. And it's like, what planet do you live in? He's been gone less than 2 years. He's been given a 7-year sentence. What about the victim? What is wrong with you? It's just so, you know, I never, we see it so often, almost 100% of the time. And it makes me want to reach through the screen. It's like the screen and just shake them and say, don't you see what you're doing? It's not helping to be all like bubbly and like, he hasn't taken one sex offender program. He uses the word mishap when describing what he did to his stepdaughter. But shouldn't we also be yelling at the DA and the judge that agrees to it? They do all these terms concurrently, and it's like, ah, what's the big deal? It's just the child. She's like still a child. She is at oldest 16 years old. She might even be 15. He's barely been locked up 2 years. Not even. It's been what, a year and a half? You can't make this stuff up. I don't have any other information on the crime. They don't list anything because you're just a child, remember. You know, he didn't, and I'll stick with this. I'll say it over. I've said it over and over and over again. These are predators. They find a woman who has a child. They marry that woman for that child. This is my belief. And when you think about that, if you conceptualize that, if you believe that, think about it. The stalking mentality, the perversion where he'll put in all of the effort to find a woman with a child of his desired age to do everything it takes to marry her just to gain access to his prey. You can't make it up. I just had a Louisiana hearing pop up in my background. Sorry about that. And then for DA to say, yes, what's the big deal? Just 7 years parole eligibility, you know, after serving a little bit of time. I guess it was 2 years, but it was like a year and a half in the prison. Maybe he did time in jail, he got time served or whatever. I don't know. And then he's going to get deported. Now, we have seen Louisiana in the past parole for these type of offenses because they're happy to get them into the different country. We have seen it, and it flipped me off too because I said, "What? So children in that country don't matter to you? Like, how can you sleep at night to just say, well, he's out of Louisiana?" But they denied him. I don't know. I can rant and rant forever about these things because it's just nuts. And you know, the poor victim survivor, you know, who knows what like she's put in that situation at oldest the age of 16 without the DA showing up and supporting her. That's just madness. But what do you expect? The same DA that agrees to a 7-year deal. Can't make it up. So let's look at the new parole board member. First time I'm seeing him. Thank you, Richard, for recording. Richard recorded this stream for me because of what we have going on. We have a few new states that we're bringing you. We already brought you Illinois as a new state, and we have Connecticut, which you've seen a bunch, but we have 2 new states that we're about to bring you. So excited to share that with you. So because I'm recording those, Richard actually has learned how to use the recording software. He's recorded it. And just a side note for those of you who are curious, I have never met Richard. I know what he looks like by pictures. He shared pictures with me, but I've never seen him on video. I have never heard his voice. Richard is a community member that you know has been early on days and is passionate. His life goal. He's old enough to be my father. He's my father's age. But he's on a mission while battling diseases and fighting for his life through pain on a daily basis. But he's on a mission to bring all of the injustices, specifically around children, like it's his life passion. And this is why he does it. He doesn't make any money from it. He doesn't want anything in return. He just wants to help contribute to that goal. So for those of you who've been curious, I hope that that's helpful to know. One day I would like to see what he looks like outside of picture and to interview him. If he'll agree to it, we will do it. So, okay, let's share this. This is the new board member. Screen sharing. All right, Danny Barris. So Daniel Barris, why am I still big here? Here we go. Is a former probation and parole supervision with 37 and a half years experience in probation and parole. So this man is qualified. He began his career with probation and parole in 1986 when he was hired as a field agent and worked as a specialist and supervisor until his retirement in 2018. He previously served as VP and Sergeant at Arms, board member, and legislative liaison of the Louisiana Probation and Parole Officer Association. Mr. Barris is also University of Southern Western Louisiana alumni and received a bachelor's degree in business management in 1983. So this guy is a true professional. And he did well for his first day. You would have never known this was his first. I mean, he only did what, 2 hearings, but you would have never known. It's kind of like Mr. Pete Freeman. Mr. Pete Freeman ran the Board of Paroles also. So this is, where is Mr. Pete? Here he is. I can't recognize him from the picture. It looks nothing like what he does on YouTube. So Mr. Pete Freeman was director of probation and paroles at corrections for 35 years. And he served as president of Probation and Parole Association. So they're probably real close with each other. Okay. So anyways, we might see him up again for parole, this guy, in 2 more years. And we'll see what he learns in his sex offender programs. And he'll learn that is to say that it wasn't a mishap, right? He'll just learn what to say. And with that, I'll let you go.